Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Tiger Woods making his return to competitive golf at the Genesis Invitational this week. It's going to be the first event for Tiger since the Open Championship last July. Yesterday, Tiger talked about how competitive he feels his game is. Take a listen.
I would not have put myself out here if I didn't think I could beat these guys and win the event. That's my mentality, and if I wasn't ready to win at this level, I know I am very rusty. But I've come off rusty situations before, and I've done well. There will come a point in time when my body will not allow me to do that anymore, and it's probably sooner than later. But wrapping my head around that transition and being an ambassador role and just playing and just trying to be out here with the guys, no, that's not in my DNA. If I'm playing in the event, I'm going to try and beat you. I'm there to get a W.
That's the Tiger we know and love. Shannon, can you see him winning again?
I'm sorry, Skip, I just don't. It's just hard for him to walk 4 days and to be competitive. Most of the time, Skip, he hadn't played since he missed the cut at the Open. He tried to play. He was going to play in one tournament, his own event. He pulled out of that. He played in a couple of played in one event with his son, but he rode in the car for 2-3 days.
They did.
So he said his ankles still bothered him. He still had plantar fasciitis.
I think his ankle's just a flat-out wreck.
Yes!
He's lucky he didn't lose his foot or his leg.
How about his life?
Yeah.
Did you see the car where it careened in the ditch at?
You're right.
The leg would have been the least of his problem.
Yep.
Skip, I just don't. How do you compete if you're in pain walking? And that's what it is. You could tell the first day he might be fine, but then the next day, Skip, it's a noticeable limp. And it gets worse and worse. You know why? Because you can't put the time in to walk during the week because it's too painful.
Yeah.
So now you get out there on the course, and the first day you feel good. But guess what's going to happen? That DOM, delayed onset muscle soreness. Mm-hmm. And it starts to hurt, and you start to get a noticeable limp and a noticeable limp. So, Skip, I know he's well, and the competitiveness is always going to be there. That's never going to leave. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And people say, well, Shannon, you said that about the Masters. Yeah, but he didn't wreck his lower body. No. He didn't almost lose his life, and he damn sure didn't almost lose a leg before he won the Masters. So that's what he's up against. And that was, 4 years ago?
It was, 2019.
So now here we are 4 years later,
yep.
And a major surgery on his right leg since. I just don't, Skip. I'm sorry. I want him to win another major. Just one more. Hell, I want him to win another tournament.
Shannon Sharp, when I just watched that soundbite, I also saw it last night, it gave me chills because this man, what he's made of, the backbone that he has, the guts that he has, the absolute cold-blooded assassin that he was at his greatest on the golf course, it's the closest thing to Jordan I've ever seen. It's even a little beyond Kobe, close to Jordan. This man is as special as it gets when it comes to competing. And this man, I believe he just showed up to win the LA Open for the first time in his life. And you can scoff and you can laugh, and you're almost certainly right because you're being realistic about it.
Yes.
But you realize this is where it started for him. He was 16 years of age. And He walked out there on that first tee at Riviera, and I've walked that course 1,000 times. It's way elevated, and you have to go way down the hill.
Yeah.
And then on 18, you have to walk way up. I don't know. They're going to have to give him help to get him up the stairs to the clubhouse.
Yeah, he might have to take one of his clubs and use it as a cane.
It's as steep as it gets. But my point is, he showed up at 16 and said, hello, world. Obviously, in 97 at the Masters, when he really said hello, world.
Yes.
But he has now played the LA Open 14 times in his career without winning his home tournament. And it was 2 years ago at this tournament that he ran off the road, as you know, it was the day after, and nearly killed it. Probably should have killed himself, but he lived to tell.
Right.
And he lived to play. I don't think there's anything wrong with his golf game. There's nothing wrong with his swing speed or his touch or his putting acumen or all those things. I think they're all high, like special. But the problem is they require you to walk the golf course.
Yes.
So by round 3 and 4, will it start to ache and bother him? It probably will. But the golf course is very flat except for the walk up to the clubhouse and down the hill.
What was the golfer that almost was it Hogan that almost lost his life?
It was a terrible car wreck. He and his wife were in the fog.
Yeah.
They got run into by a
Greyhound.
Greyhound bus.
Yes.
And both of his legs were crippled. I once interviewed him about what he came back and won the U.S. Open when they used to have to play 36 holes on Sunday.
Right.
And it was at Marion in Philadelphia.
He was in his 30s.
Yep, he was. No, I know. This is late 40s.
Yes.
Yeah. But this guy is as rare as you get.
Oh, there's no question about it.
I was listening to him speak. He showed up because he thinks he can compete with any of the kids out there right now. And he's going to play with Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy, and I will not at all be surprised if he doesn't beat them head to head.
Skip, you know what? Had he not had this injury, I would give him an 80% chance of winning another tournament.
Yep.
Hell, maybe even winning a major. But you have to walk the course. And you have to walk the course for 4 days. And you have to be mentally sharp. And the one thing that a lot of times affect mental focus is pain.
Yeah, it does. No, I got it. But I still believe they're afraid of him, of the big cat.
No, not anymore.
He's the big cat.
Not anymore.
I don't know.
Not anymore.
Boy, they know his distance is about the same. He can compete with them.
Nah,
But they watched him, as you said, 4 years ago. He just showed up at the Masters. He didn't even play another tournament. That's impossible.
Right.
Golf is a game you have to just play. I know the longer I play it, the better I get. He just shows up and says,
two things
I'm going to win this.
Skip, two things happened, and it happened in 2009.
Yep.
When Y.E. Yang chased him down at the PGA,
Yeah.
and that Thursday night, somebody hit a golf club through his window. That's when his aura of invincibility,
I know.
it went away.
I got it. But the Tiger who dominated the sport was unlikable to me.
Yeah.
And now he's like a
He's
George
humble.
Foreman. You know, he's done the career swing.
They like to build you up to see you broken down.
I know,
and then
but once he was broken down, he started building himself back up. And now he smiles a lot. He's very lovable to me.
Skip.
He's very rootable.
Tell me how accurate I am. Mm-hmm. When Muhammad Ali had the gift of gab, nobody liked him. It was because it became when he couldn't speak that
is
everybody
correct.
loved him.
That is a fact.
When Tiger Woods could no longer dominate the game like he once could because he had to become humble. Mm-hmm. He could no longer give the world his butt to kiss. So now he became humble because he became fallible.
Yeah, well, he was.
You see how that?
Well, no, I got it. But I'm not counting that guy out.
Are you going to see it? You going to?
I might go out. I'm thinking about going out on Saturday.
No.
No?
No.
No. Golf's hard to spectate when you're in the gallery because you don't get any breaks. You know,
you got to keep walking.
Yeah, I know.
Well, unless most times, I mean, you got a guy like Tiger, they're going to want to walk with him. So when he leaves, they follow him.
Do they? It's almost hard to see.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will get your first glimpse tomorrow. That's when the Genesis Invitational begins, then all the way through the weekend. Guys, let's discuss Bronny James when we come back. What path do you think he's going to take to the NBA? Skip and Shannon weigh in just a moment.